Greetings, I'm the Animax. There's one thing I know, and that's anime.
And I'm the Reminisce Reviewer. I reminisce so you don't miss.
Now, in the last superhero episode, we looked at the anime version of Marvel's Wolverine.
And let's just say it was a cut below the rest.
So, we're checking out Marvel's rival, DC Comics, and one of its biggest moneymakers, Batman.
Oh, but before we review, listen, before we start, I have to tell you this. There's no Joker. I didn't realise the place was haunted. I thought it wasn't until next episode.
Those were real people. So, let's power up the bat signal and start the Batmobile. This is Batman Gotham Knight.
That's right! There's an anime, but with a difference. 4 production companies, each doing 1 or 2 episodes.
In episode 1, Have I Got a Story for You, ironically, is sort of about Batman. We hear 4 different points of view, but what do we get? Possibly the animators on an acid trip? Okay, who's been eating the magic mushrooms?
You're all squishy and hairy. So, the teenagers are each telling their own point of view. But each version of Batman is different. Kid 1 says that he sees some weird, shadowy thing. Really can't explain it. Kid 2 says that the villain is being fought by a man-bat. Kid 3 says he thinks Batman's a robot. And Kid 4 just sees him up close and personal.
I'm really starting to question the logic of this series.
Relax! We got one thing left.
And that is...
The outcome.
Oh, great. I hate you.
Finally, all 4 kids get to see Batman and the villain in the flesh. And when the villain almost wins...
Now you'd think that Batman would do something in a situation like this, right?
Nope. We get this.
Kid 1 finally gets some balls and with his skateboard, knocks out the villain. Batman thanks him and disappears?
It takes 4 attempts for Batman to take down this black-clad villain. And one of the kids takes 5 seconds to take him down. Thus, I'll give it 1 bat.
Enough said. Next!
Episode 2, Crossfire. We start with 2 of Lieutenant Gordon's top cops.
And instead of the cops helping the Dark Knight, we get this. The cops, Officers Anna Ramirez and Crispus Allen, are asked to transport the notorious criminal Jacob Free, who turns out to be the psycho in episode 1, back to Arkham Asylum.
And while this is happening, for the next 5 minutes, we get this.
5 minutes of bitching and complaining from Crispus. Translation?
Batman can pull the bird!
I want to catch him doing this too!
Officer Ramirez starts getting rather tired of his belly aching, pulls the car over,
And 3, 2, 1...
Out of nowhere, they discover they are caught in the middle of a gang war between the Russian mob and the Gotham City mob. A fight ensues, and Batman comes in, saves the cops and the day.
The end.
1 bat. Moving on.
Episode 3. Field Test. Bruce Wayne gets an upgrade for his armor. The rest is self-explanatory. Oh good, the end!
Sit down. There's more. But there's one little problem. The armor worked too well.
Well, this episode was a bit redundant.
I give it 2 bats. Next, please!
In episode 4, In Darkness Dwells, we finally get to see some action. But in the dark.
We're back to where we started, aren't we?
Yes.
However, there is some light at the end of the tunnel. There's some pretty decent stuff, like the fight scenes.
Fight scenes? You mean one-punch knockouts.
Well, not literally.
In the end, the Cardinal is saved. The end.
3 out of 5 bats.
Next!
In episode 5, Working Through Pain, we see the Dark Knight doing what he does best, but gets shot in the stomach and has to be operated on.
So where was his armor? Getting repairs? Lucius, is my armor ready?
Sorry, Mr. Wayne. Won't be ready till tomorrow.
Oh, crap. While the Caped Crusader is getting the bullet pulled out, we then go to a flashback where we see him in India, where we see him learning how to, as the title implies, work through pain.
And that's 2/3 of the movie. I give it 1.5 bats.
The 6th and final episode, Deadshot, well, for obvious reasons. Here's 10 seconds to guess the main villain in this episode.
If you've guessed any other villain other than Deadshot, quit eating magic mushrooms!
We start with Bruce, thinking about his parents' murder for maybe the 100th time. They're dead. Move on! Where was I? Oh yes, while interchanging between scenes with, you said it, Deadshot.
We then cut to where Batman gives whiny Crispus some important intel from Batman.
Turns out Deadshot's next hit is Lieutenant Gordon, but we find out it's really, you said it, Batman. A fight starts, Batman wins, after that, the end.
Okay, the result? 3.5 out of 5.
This is a classic example of a journey of tragedy to redemption. For episodes 1 till 3, it's like watching Picasso on acid. But episodes 4 to 6, it redeems itself. Animation-wise.
The artwork is decent in some areas.
The backdrop is grand.
The storyline is good, but sometimes it's left out dazed and confused.
At least they got the voiceovers right.
Thanks, Kevin Conway!
But overall, you might as well watch this with a pair of night vision goggles.
Shall we tally up?
You can, I won't. I'm the Animax. Now, if you excuse me, I have some normal food to eat.
I'm the Remedies Reviewer. And I tally up 12 out of 30 bats.
I whooped Batman's ass. I whooped Batman's ass. I whooped